Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I was feeling motivated and generally in a good mood, which, as I'm sure you can imagine, is not a normal thing for me. So I was like, how exactly can I ruin my mood so I'm back to normal? So what did I do? I went on Tumblr. Earlier today, I happened to see the words Christian privilege written on Twitter. I don't remember the context, so I was like, I should look into this. And of course, Tumblr has everything of horrible, so I was sure that Christian privilege was bound to be there, and I was right. So, the definition of Christian privilege is a type of dominant group privilege where the unconscious or conscious attitudes and belief of Christians advantage Christians over non-Christians. So, then I looked into it further, and there was an article that was talking about a workshop at George Washington University, which is called a Christian Privilege Workshop. And it talks about how believers in Jesus received unmerited perks and have built-in advantages over non-Christians in the United States. Then it says, Christian privilege, but our founding fathers were all Christian, right? Is a diversity training session for students and faculty and is scheduled to take place Thursday. And then there's an event description, which I'll just link this article because honestly it's mind-boggling. So anyways, when I searched the Christian privilege tag, plenty of posts came up on Tumblr, so now we can just review them. So here we have one that says, Christian privilege is being able to slap Jesus saves and not of this world stickers all over your car while people who are Jewish, Muslim, Sikh, or non-Christian religions have to consider the possible threat to their property and lives. Okay, I can see this point kind of with the Muslim thing because it's a polarized time. Let's not pretend that's not the case. But if you had a Jewish sticker or any other kind of sticker, and even a Muslim sticker, I'm pretty sure that unless you really met an asshole, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. And honestly, if you think the paramount issue between religions or how religions are handled is that you don't have a bumper sticker for your car, are your problems really that big? That's all what I'm wondering, okay? So I guess let's all cry about the lack of bumper stickers. Oh, by the way, I should probably mention this before people say like, Christian privilege. I was raised Christian, but I'm no longer a Christian, so there's that. I have no particular bias towards or against Christians or any other religion for that fact, so just know that I'm pretty much a blank slate in this situation. Then we have another post that says, the very act of saying religious or religion when you mean Christian or Christianity is Christian-centric and upholding Christian normativity. So I don't know anyone who says religious instead of Christian because religious is a very vague term because there are many religions. So when you're saying religious, it could be any of said religions. So anyone who says that is obviously either uninformed on what religious means or being stupid. So this seems like one of those kind of call-out posts that's for a very specific person rather than actually a general issue. Also, one of the themes in these posts and hashtags is the fact that people are saying how like, oh, Christianity is always assumed, blah, blah, blah. So first of all, most of the people writing these posts, I'm guessing, are probably in the United States. Well, a lot of posts specifically mention the United States. So let's just talk about one of the biggest religions in the United States, which happens to be Christianity. So if Christianity is the biggest religion in a country, whatever country it is, you need to face the fact that things are going to be more catered to that because there are more people who are in that religion. In the same way that if you are in a country that is primarily Muslim, the Muslim religion will be more catered to. That's just a fact of numbers, not a kind of bias that's saying like, oh, because we hate X religion, we're not catering to it. No, it's just about numbers. Okay, so talking about numbers for a second, the 2017 estimate of religion in the United States is Christianity with 69%.
69.
Judaism with 2%, Islam with 1%, Buddhism with 1%. There are more unaffiliated people than there are Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, and so forth. It's 24% unaffiliated. So technically, if we did continue to go by the numbers game after Christianity, the biggest religion or group or whatever would be unaffiliated. So Next post says, people have all these misconceptions about Christians. We're so misunderstood. Fucking stop it. Just fucking stop it. You're not marginalized, you're not oppressed, you're not misunderstood. Your privilege is all hell and you take it for granted. Potentially there are people who are Christian and trying to be victims and trying to be oppressed, but I don't really think that that is most Christians, so this kind of general blanket statement does really nothing. It just shows your frustration with Christianity, which you're completely entitled to have, but at the same time, I don't really see Christians going around screaming like, oh, we're oppressed, we're marginalized. Some people are really dramatic about the war on Christmas or whatever.
Christmas is canceled.
You can't cancel a holiday.
Give it up, Stanley, and you will lose New Year's.
What does that mean?
Jim, take New Year's away from Stanley.
But again, I don't really see how this privilege would really be that big of an effect on everyday life. And I'm not even Christian, so I don't really see where I'm lacking privilege. Or is it because I'm white and a woman that privilege kind of bumps me up? So even if I don't have Christian privilege, I'm at an okay point of privilege where I don't realize. Okay, I'm just getting confused at this point. Next. If you're Christian, you don't have to worry about your holidays because there won't be school. Even the public calendar is centered around your holidays. I, on the other hand, am currently having to choose whether to attend schools or high holy day services. So that sucks, honestly, but at the same time, like I said, if you live in a country that is majority religion X, they will cater to religion X, and that might suck, but it makes sense. And as someone who's not even Christian, like, granted, I don't practice any other religion, so I don't have these kinds of problems, but at the same time, it's unrealistic. So what is the solution here? We cater to none, so then when would we have holidays? Or if we try to have holidays to appease everyone, then we would never go to school or work, right? So all of this complaining, like, I understand the frustration, I do, but at the same time, it's like, what is your solution to all of this, and what is your complaining accomplishing? Venting is one thing. These all just seem just angry and not wanting to do anything about it. Okay, so we have another post that says, but really though, can we please talk about Christian privilege because I don't think enough people think it even exists. Wow, it almost seems like you're onto something there. Another one, there's no such thing as religious privilege or atheist oppression, at least not in the US. There is, however, Christian privilege, particularly white Christian privilege, and non-Christian oppression. Okay, hold on. So first this person says there's no such thing as religious privilege. Okay. And then they go to say, however, Christian privilege is a thing. Wouldn't Christian privilege be a subcategory of religious privilege? Am I missing something here? If you guys understand it, please let me know in the comments. Also, why is white dragged into Christian now? If we're talking about religion, let's talk about religion. But if we're going to categorize it as if you're a white Christian, you have some kind of privilege that some other Christian wouldn't get, it's all flimsy. This argument doesn't stand up, and I would like to see where exactly a Christian person would get all these crazy privileges. If you want to talk about the vacation, because we live in a vastly Christian country, I mean, in a sense, anyone who's not Christian also gets that privilege because they also get vacation. They're just not catered to their particular religion, which, A, you choose what religion you practice, and B, if it's such a huge issue, move to a country that caters specifically to your religion or has a big population that practices your religion. But I don't think it's realistic to say, hey, just because I don't practice the religion that most people in this country practice, I don't want them to be catered to anymore. I don't know, that doesn't really make sense to me. It'd be like going to Italy and saying, I don't like that the Pope lives here. Okay, this post made me laugh. It says, there's a Christian privilege tag, and then there was a reaction under saying, really, bitch, really? Same though. Okay, so this is the last post I found, and I kind of was hoping it was like a troll or satire of some sort, but it doesn't seem like it, and I find that extremely concerning. It says, hi, I'm Wiccan, and why the fuck am I the only religious practice that isn't included under the umbrella of religions at Hogwarts? Why the fuck should I feel ashamed and embarrassed, J.K. Rowling? I've looked up to you for all this time, and your response is to tell me my religion is the only one that isn't okay at Hogwarts. And this was under the Christian privilege hashtag. This is a joke, right? Because if this isn't a joke, I just don't know how I feel about being alive on this planet. I don't want to be here if this is real, because First of all, why are you getting pressed about religions in Hogwarts when religion isn't the main point of Harry Potter? Just saying. Second of all, it's fictional. In a fictional world, you're not forced to put everything that exists in reality. That's why it's called fiction and not non-fiction. But I digress. If you want to go the fuck off because of Harry Potter not including your religion, well, okay, I guess. Anyways, guys, thankfully I didn't look any further into this tag because it was depressing and frankly kind of silly in my opinion, but please let me know what you guys think about all this. Do you think that Christian privilege is a real thing? And if so, how much does it really affect people's daily lives? Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks to my patrons as always, and let's get into the fan art.